listening to the Fun with Horror podcast with your hosts, Scotty and Andrew.
Hello to our most amazing, beautiful, wonderful, exciting, saintly Fun with Horror friends, family, everyone that we love dearly. Welcome, of course, to Fun with Horror, the weekly horror movie review podcast in which my best friend in the world, Scotty, and we take turns giving each other horror movies to watch, and then we discuss them the following week. We have two rules here at Fun with Horror. The first is whoever picks the next movie has to pick one they've never seen. And the other rule is that we have to watch it. The last pick was me, and I chose the 2021 movie Saint Maud, directed by Rose Glass and starring Morfydd Clark. And of course, remember to stay tuned to the end of this episode where we are going to hear Scotty's pick for next week's movie. But before I say hello to Scotty, let me say one thing. And that is, even though these come out on Tuesday, Scotty and I typically record a little bit before. And today, on the day we record, it is my best friend in the world, Scotty's birthday. So everyone, wish him a happy birthday. Happy birthday.
I heard it. I heard everybody do it.
Good.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, man.
Hey, thank you, man.
Of course. Of course.
How are you?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. I'm excited.
How was your week?
It was good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was a pretty good week. I will say I bought Evil Within 2 and started playing it a little bit.
You started playing it?
I did. And I love it. I love it dearly.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. It's a pretty sweet continuation so far, and some fun little scares, so definitely recommend
Nice.
it. Yeah. And then also I was going to tell you, last night we watched the remake of Pet Sematary with Kylie.
Yeah?
And she loved
Has
it,
she
man.
seen the original?
She has not, but I wanted to do something. She really wants
crazy.
Kind of crazy, but she also wants like newer ones, which I'm like, all right, whatever. As long as you're excited for horror movies, I'm happy. So
I get it. Because, it's a classic to us, but she may laugh at like the dated special effects of Gage and stuff like that.
Agreed. And I think, so she wanted something new, and she was the one, like, right after dinner, she's like, can we watch a scary movie? And I was like, yes, we can. So
nice.
That's what we decided on. But yeah, really liked it and went to bed immediately afterward with no problems. So it was awesome.
And she wasn't like jaded, like saying, "Oh, this wasn't nearly as good as the original."
Well, nope, she did not. No, enjoyed it, man. Just liked it, and I was like, "This is great, awesome." I think we can.
Wow, I'm glad she liked it.
Yeah, I was happy with it. So, but that's my fun news. I thought you would appreciate that.
Very good.
What about you, man?
I'm very proud.
Oh, thank you.
I don't have much.
Oh, okay.
Not much. Last weekend, opening weekend, I saw Jurassic World Dominion.
And, well, actually, I saw your review, but yes.
Yeah, you saw my review.
I saw your review. It definitely made me want to go see it.
I'm in the minority.
Oh, really?
Everybody hates this movie.
What?
And I liked it. I had a good time.
Oh, man.
In fact, I'll tell you, one of the best parts of the movie was that I went with Mary, and like probably during the last third of the movie, we just kept looking at each other and grinning because we were watching dinosaurs like chase people, and it was just so much fun.
Nice.
I mean, I didn't expect too much out of the story. It's got problems that I'm not going to go into.
Sure.
It's got issues, but who cares?
Yeah,
it was fun. Nothing's going to match the excellence of the first Jurassic Park movie.
Right.
So people keep chasing that dragon, and they keep getting disappointed.
They keep chasing that dinosaur.
That T-Rex.
There you go. No, they're fun movies, man. So I'm excited. I figured it was going to be exactly that, and I'm excited to see it. I know Cindy is as well, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that's that, buddy.
Okay.
I got nothing.
All right. Well,
But I'm more excited. I'm more excited at Kylie watching Pet Cemetery than I am that I watched Jurassic World Dominion.
Aw, that's sweet, dude.
So, Kylie, if you're listening, I'm glad you liked it, and I'm glad you weren't too scared.
Aw, I'm gonna play that for her.
Okay.
I will.
I know. That's why I said it.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about the movie.
Sounds good.
When you pray, do you get a response?
Oh, it's like he's physically in me. It's how he guides me.
My little savior.
Okay, so we are about to talk about the movie Saint Maud. So everybody out there, actually, I forget, Andrew, where is this streaming?
This is on Amazon Prime and
Prime Video.
Prime Video. Also Rent and Buy, and I think it might be Epix as well, but definitely if you have Prime.
Prime Video, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so, if you haven't seen this movie, we are about to spoil the crap out of it. It's available on Prime Video if you'd like to go watch it. And then you can just pause our little podcast here. And then after you watch the movie, it'll be like we were there waiting for you the whole time. So go ahead and pause right now.
Do it.
Oh, hey, welcome back.
Hey, everyone.
Hey. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Sorry, I'm practicing. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Andrew, would you
Yes.
do us a favor
Sure.
and just tell us what Saint Maud is about, buddy?
Okay.
It's your movie, so you tell us what it's about.
I will tell you. So Saint Maud begins with this Maud, our main character, sitting in a hospital, looking up at the ceiling at a cockroach. Her hands are bloodied, and right next to her is a cadaver in a morgue. It cuts to Saint Maud, or just Maud, I guess. She's now she helps people out. She's a home, I forget what that's called, home helper. She helps people that are sick at home. Sort of like
She's a home nurse.
home nurse. Thank you. Yeah. And she's working for a woman named Amanda, who used to be who used to be a dancer, relatively famous as well, and has kind of become a curmudgeon through sickness, of course, which can't fault her for that. But
She got cancer.
she did. She got cancer and is, wheelchair bound for the most part, and just not happy, obviously, with her life right now. And so Maud is now there to help out. Well, we find out that Maud has become religious pretty recently, within the last year or so, and kind of brings that to Amanda when she talks to her and stuff. And Amanda actually kind of gets into it as well, and they talk prayers, and they pray for each other. At least Maud prays for Amanda. And the thing that Maud talks about is when she prays and feels God, she feels him in a very strange way, to the point where she almost orgasms. And at one point, Amanda kind of has the same, I guess, revelation or whatever you want to say. Anyway, Amanda throughout the movie has visitors come and visit, one being like someone that she used to dance with. The other one is a woman that is there for sexual reasons, but
Call girl.
A call girl. Okay, that's what I figured, because she has money at one point. So I figured that was it, but I wasn't 100% sure. But anyway, Maud's not a fan of that, because she's starting to see Amanda kind of becoming more lively, and also because Maud sees her as becoming more religious, it seems like, and so wants this other girl out of there because she's a distraction, so she tells this other girl to leave. Becomes a whole thing. Anyway, they jump to a dinner party. Amanda has a bunch of people there, and Amanda calls out Maud and says, "You basically wanted to get rid of my girlfriend," and everyone at the party kind of starts making fun of Maud, and they are pretty mean to her, and then Maud actually slaps Amanda across the face. Well, Amanda has a bit of a downfall at this, or excuse me, not Amanda. Maud has a bit of a downfall at this point. She actually runs into someone she used to work with at the hospital who calls her Katie, not Maud. And anyway, Maud becomes kind of crazy. She starts going out and partying. She at one point hears God, quote unquote, that says basically you need to do my work for me. She floats through the air at one point, and eventually she jumps back to Amanda, finds her way back to Amanda. Amanda starts talking to her almost as a demon, like with this demon voice. Maud stabs her to death, goes out to the beach, thinks that she has like angel wings, that she's kind of like almost like the second coming, like she just thinks she's the next big thing. Sets herself on fire, and in her mind, she starts to see herself as like essentially like ascending and becoming an angel or something. But for the last second of the movie, we see that she literally set herself on fire and is screaming in pain, and that's how it ends.
And a little more detail.
Yes, yeah.
After Amanda, after she slaps Amanda.
Yes, yeah.
And she's kind of cast out. She's fired from her job.
Right.
She feels like God, like she did not complete her mission, so she's angry at God, quote
right.
unquote.
Right.
And that's why she gets all debaucherous. And then when things get not so great with her, then she starts to think that God was just actually testing her.
Right.
And so she goes back to God.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah. What did you think of this, buddy?
Okay, so the first time I watched it with my wife Cindy.
Oh boy.
But it's for those that haven't seen it, and like we said, anyway, it's a pretty slow movie for the most part, especially kind of the beginning. So if you're looking for a fast-paced movie, you might want to hold off on this one, of course. But for us, I wasn't sure I didn't know anything about it. And so I don't know if we were expecting it to be kind of a slow burn. And so Cindy was distracted, which is fine. She had some stuff that she had to do. And I, it's funny when you're watching a movie with someone and they're not quite into it. You're not quite as into it. You know what I mean? Audience really helps.
Osmosis is what I call it.
I like that. Yes, exactly. And so I thought it was...
Let me tell you a quick story.
No, please.
I once saw Cloverfield in the theater with a
Nice.
friend, and she was very motion sick during the whole movie. I do not get motion sick during found footage movies, but because she wasn't feeling great, it made me feel motion sick.
No way.
So I had to go see it a second time by myself so that I wasn't. And then I was like, yeah, this is fine. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I get it, buddy.
Totally.
I get it.
Yeah, it really... Yeah. So we both were like, it's fine. Like, it was fine. Rewatching it, though, a second time by myself with my headphones on and just really kind of absorbing it,
Yeah.
I really liked this movie way more than I did the first time.
All right.
So I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it. Yeah. What about you, man? What did you think?
Funny enough, halfway through the movie, the first time I watched it, I put on headphones.
Oh, funny.
Because it's here's a stupid little fact about me and Mary too, but during the summer it gets hot, we turn on the air conditioner, and that means that we can't hear the TV as well when
Sure.
they're talking quietly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I realized, I was like, you know what? I'm just by myself watching this movie, so I put on headphones and I could suddenly understand everything
Right.
and hear them.
I know it's a pretty quiet movie for the most part.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a very, very good movie. I thought it was more a character study
Yeah.
than it was a horror film, even though it definitely had a few horror aspects to it.
Mhm.
Mostly body horror type stuff.
Right. Yes.
But I wasn't sure what the movie was about. I went in blind.
Same. Yep.
Here's the thing. I think it's a really good movie. I think I would recommend this to anybody that wants to see a really good, weird A24 movie.
Yeah. Yep.
But I don't know when the next time I really want to watch it again is, because it was kind of depressing.
Totally agree. I completely agree with that.
It was a sad little movie there.
Yeah, it really was.
Because the movie starts out and you think it's about religion.
Right.
And it turns out not to be.
Right.
You know, it's once again we have a movie with a secret meaning.
Yeah.
But this one was a little more. This one was a little more, I guess, transparent about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It wasn't. There wasn't as much. I mean, people still interpreted it as different things, but that was not the director's intention. I read interviews with her, with Rose Glass, and
right on.
yeah, it was about mental health and watching somebody's mental health decline.
Totally.
And that's what got me. Let's skip to the end real quick.
Please, yeah. Oh my gosh.
So the ending, she's dressed herself in these like quote unquote robes.
Right. Yeah.
That she's made from her bed sheets to make herself look like a saint, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Like you said, she thinks she has angel wings, so I don't think that she thinks she's a second coming. But
right.
I do think
yeah.
that she thinks she's a vessel of God.
Right. Yep.
She goes out to the beach. And 1 second, buddy. My cat is coughing.
Oh, kitty. Is that Ziggy?
Yeah, Ziggy's coughing. He's like in the bedroom going,
oh, kitty.
He probably just has some hair in his throat.
Yeah.
But it always makes my heart like reach out to him.
Right, little baby.
Anyway,
yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
So she pours this. It's not gasoline, but it's like alcohol.
Yeah.
Solution and stuff. It's chemicals. She pours it on her head. And at that moment, like, honestly, I think so. Morfydd Clark.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of her?
I really liked her, and I thought I really liked her voice. You know, it reminded me a lot, and I should have looked it up, but the main girl in Last Night in Soho.
Okay.
She had kind of that, softer voice, and anyway, I liked her. I actually really liked her.
Okay. Yeah, me too. And I would go so far as to say one of my favorite, or one of, she did this thing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And it just hit me that we see people, like homeless people with mental health issues on the streets.
Right.
We see them walking around all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always, like, you see them talking to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always sat there and wondered what they see.
Right. Yeah, dude.
What if there's, like, in their mind, a person sitting next to them that they're just talking to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what hit me at the end of this movie. Because we see, for a while, we see what Maud is seeing. She sees, like, the clouds swirling into a whirlpool, like the heavens are opening up or something.
Mm-hmm.
And when she starts pouring the chemicals on her body, you hear people say, "Oh my God, somebody stop her." You know, you hear people saying what they're actually saying, but then you see what Maud sees, and you see people gathering, and you know that they're watching, and they're like, "What is this woman doing?"
Mm-hmm.
But in her mind, they are stopping to worship her,
right,
and to witness this vessel of God. And obviously, she flicks on the lighter and she catches on fire. And to her, she's showing everybody her heavenly light.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody else is just watching this crazy girl burn herself alive on the beach.
Yeah.
And yeah, it made me so sad. But I think her acting in that moment, like, she really conveyed that person.
Yes.
That you always see walking around in weird clothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I thought it was very sad. But-
Agreed.
And that's the only reason. I think it's a good movie. I'm not in a hurry to watch it a
Right.
third time because it is kind of a sad movie.
It is. And that, honestly, the way we obviously when we see that, but the way it ends with her screaming on fire for maybe half a second, maybe.
Yeah.
Is, to me, is one of the most horrifying things I think I've seen in a movie. Obviously, there's lots of horrifying things I've seen, but it still is with me. This one will stick with me a bit, I think, just because.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just dark, very, very bleak, very.
I'm not going to name the movie for spoiler reasons,
I
but
have
it
the
also
same thought.
reminds me of a movie we've covered. So.
Oh, never mind. I was totally thinking a different one.
Oh, well,
We'll
I will
talk
tell you
after.
later.
Yeah.
But we have covered a movie that has similar things.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah, let's I guess start back at the beginning.
Yeah. I really.
So the hospital scene.
Yes. Yeah. Which we never really do get. I guess we kind of get closure on it. We just know that. She accidentally killed someone. I think it was an accident.
Yeah, I'm not sure we do get that much closure on it
Yeah.
because I wasn't sure if she accidentally killed somebody or if something just went horribly wrong when she was a nurse and she tried to save their life and couldn't.
Yeah, they don't really give us much details on it. Just that
Yeah.
someone died. And then even when she's doing, it made me wonder, too, because when she's sleeping with that guy and she's kind of on top of him but she kind of has visions of her giving him CPR and then her hands go through his chest. And I was like, because the woman that was laying there was older, which that's known to happen, unfortunately, is when someone gives compressions, it can break their sternum when they're older. So I'm like, was that it? Did she push
That's
through?
a great point.
I don't know, man.
No, I think you're right. Because her friend Joy, that meets up and calls her Katie. When we find out her name is not Maud at all.
Right. Yeah.
She even mentions, she makes a tiny little comment. Does your new employer know about what happened?
Right. Yep.
And kind of in disbelief that somebody would hire her after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So I think you're right.
All right. Well, there you go. Look at that. I'm never.
But
right.
now, symbolism.
Yes.
The first things I noticed were, the main first things is the way Maud is sitting in the corner, or Katie. Her hands bloody, kind of like the stigmata.
Very good. I did not
I caught
catch
that right away. And then the second time I watched it, there's this recurring roach, this big bug roach thing. And it almost looks like she sees it as a sign,
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Because whenever she sees it, she's in a moment of doubt or like she needs some kind of guidance. And I feel like she almost thinks the roach is like a spirit guide.
Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Which is a very strange thing to have as a spirit guide, but there it is.
To each their own, man.
Now, one interesting thing about this movie is it does not take place in New York.
Yeah, okay. But it said Coney Island, and I was like...
Well, yeah, because there is an actual arcade in North Yorkshire, UK, in Scarborough, where they filmed this, called the Coney Island Arcade.
Funny. Okay.
So...
Well, and even, because everyone else has a bit of an accent, except Amanda. Amanda's the only one that has...
Right.
Or no accent, I guess. To us Americans, anyway.
Correct. She's American. Let's just say that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I figured, though, I was like, everyone can't have, an accent and be in New York. So, yeah, that was interesting to see, though, that Coney Island thing. I was like, what? Huh?
Yeah. Amanda was played by Jennifer
Yes.
Ehle. Ehle, and she was really good.
I liked her too. Yeah, she played the part very well.
Yeah. She wasn't. I mean, so the nurse that that Maud is replacing
Mm-hmm.
tells her, she calls her, see you next Tuesday.
Yes.
And I never felt that Amanda was that bad
Agreed.
until maybe the party, and until you find out later on that when Maud prays and they both have what Rose Glass, the director, called a godgasm. So that's what I wrote down, and that's what I started calling them.
Yep.
So when they both have a godgasm, you think, oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Amanda feels it too. This is interesting. This movie is getting weird.
Yep.
But then later on, you find out that Amanda was just going along with Maud because basically they're both trying to save each other,
Right.
which is the interesting dynamic between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Maud thinks that God's plan for her is to save Amanda's soul before she dies.
Correct. Yep.
And Amanda, who is much more, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. She's trying to save Maud from believing in something that may not be there.
Right. Right.
So, but yeah, it was an interesting relationship.
It was. I know, and it was. Yeah. I what's funny too is it really does. The movie starts out as sort of that. You know, that story you've seen before, where someone's kind of. Usually in a movie, it's like an older person is this cranky curmudgeon, like I said, and like someone comes in and they form this bond and this friendship, and they. Blah, 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 blah. You know, we've seen that formula a zillion times in movies. And so I actually was like, oh, that's okay, interesting that we're going with this. But then halfway through, it kind of takes a different turn. I was like, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be that formula. Because this is a horror movie, so there's got to be something a little different there. So,
But again, it's hard to, this one's hard to really think of as a horror movie.
Totally agree. I totally agree.
Because I'd say, like, the horror aspects,
Mm-hmm.
the weirdness of the godgasms, first of all.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing,
Mhm.
and this is something I wanted to talk about,
Oh, please.
the end of every godgasm she has.
Yes, her face.
Not just her face, but her eyes especially.
Yes.
Wow. That
Yeah.
was, it's so uncomfortable to watch.
Yes. It looks creepy.
Because right at the end of these gasms that she has, like, her eyes just, like, suddenly she goes, and her eyes, like, wide, like, they just get overly big.
Right.
Like they're stretching.
And her mouth, too, it gets a little too wide just to make it a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think I was always focused on her eyes, so I didn't
Mhm.
really notice the mouth. But they did use some special effects
Mm.
to manipulate her face.
It was creepy, man. And it happens, probably 3 or 4 times, I think, in the movie.
Yeah.
But each time, very uncomfortable. Just weird enough to give you that, like, ugh, vibe.
And then you have, like, I guess the forms of what it was is people in the service of God have been known to self-flagellate. You know,
Yeah.
causing themselves pain. It's usually whipping themselves on the back. Maud gets a little bit more creative.
Yeah, dude.
She kneels on popcorn,
The
like
kernels,
unpopped popcorn kernels. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
She burns her hand on a hot stove.
Yes.
But obviously, the hardest one. You want to tell everybody?
Oh, gosh. She puts tacks on a piece of paper and puts it in her shoes and then steps on it and walks with those shoes, down the street.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
And
the
again,
paper,
Oh,
No,
no,
I
I was just... Hi.
Hi, hello.
I love you.
I love you. No, I was just going to say, and the paper I think that she uses is a saint that she plugs the tax in or something like that. I think it's like a saint or something. I can't quite remember, but yeah, dark, man, horrifying. That hurt real bad watching that scene.
Yeah. What I was going to say is, again, kudos to the filmmakers, because a lot of times I've seen in a movie where somebody does something like that and you feel their pain for a moment, but then they kind of like, it's almost as if the actor forgets that there's something in their shoe that that's supposed to be causing them pain, or the direction is like, oh, you're used to it by now.
Right.
But throughout that entire scene, whenever she walks, you can tell that she's just in absolute pain.
Yep. The little grimace on her face. Just,
Yeah.
she sold it very well.
It was so good.
Yeah. So bad, dude. Oh, my gosh.
Now,
Everything, yeah.
So that's part of the horror of the movie. And then
Right.
obviously the ending
Right.
is horrific.
Yeah. That, and one, yeah, exactly. Her stabbing Amanda to death, like wildly. Yeah, and then setting herself on fire. Agreed. There's some dark moments, but I still agree with you. I don't know if I would put this in like that horror category. This would, I don't know, man.
I guess that's
weird.
A24 for you.
Right, yeah.
That's what you got to expect. Like, it's the same thing like you haven't seen it yet, but Midsummer.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were up in arms over people calling it a horror movie.
Oh.
And I'm like, there's some pretty horrific stuff in that movie, but I see their point.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a straight-up horror movie like Hereditary is.
Right, exactly.
Another movie you haven't seen, buddy.
Right, I know. I've heard that one's a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Hereditary, you can definitely, like, it's easy to call that one a horror movie. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
And Midsummer, it's not as easy to call it a straight horror movie.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
And the only other little thing I can think of that has kind of a horrific aspect in Saint Maud is that I just remembered is the part where she's peeling off her scab.
Oh, yeah, dude. That was gross.
I think of everything, like obviously the tax in the shoe was painful.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, man, peeling off her scab made me like shiver and cringe.
It was gross. And they did a good job on it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just was so gnarly. Oh, my gosh.
So now.
Yeah.
No, what were you about to say?
Well, I was just going to... You caught me. No, I was going to say... I think a big thing with this movie, too... obviously, it's mental health. We talked about that.
Yes.
But I think also one thing that... one line that Amanda says... Because at the end, when Amanda's... got that demonic voice and is talking to Maud before Maud kills her, she mentions something and says, you're lonely. She says you're lonely, and it's because you think you're alone and because you think you're by yourself that you can't do anything, or something along those lines. Which then made me think, watching it, that really she's at her kind of her worst, or her decline, I guess, when she's all by herself. Any scene where she's by herself, usually something iffy happens, which I was thinking as someone, just life in general, it's, of course, when we're by ourselves, that's usually when those thoughts can come into mind, those evil thoughts or thoughts of, you're never going to make it, or you're worthless, or remember that horrible thing you did 20 years ago, you know what I mean? And so I thought of that too watching this, where like, man, when she is alone and isn't out with friends, because she really doesn't have friends in this, she starts hearing those things or starts feeling those things and really declines. So that was one thing I just thought of while watching it, too. I was like, there might be something with that as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the question then becomes, is her mental health declining because she's lonely and alone, or is she alone because her mental health is declining? Because she doesn't really know how to be around people.
Right.
She lets men take advantage of her.
Mm-hmm.
There's the moment where she's trying to like be a part of the conversation that the other people are having, like very uncomfortably.
Yes.
And then she almost looks at them like they're a-holes for for not including her.
Mm-hmm.
That was such a cringy moment.
Oh my gosh, seriously. I hated it. I hated that second. Like, yeah, and they all look at her too, like, okay. Like, don't look at us.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But now, okay, before she gets fired, before she slaps Amanda,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
this was the thoughts that I was having, because obviously Amanda enjoys the company of a woman.
Right, yes, yeah.
And I wondered
Mm-hmm.
if it was purely Maud wanting to save Amanda's soul, or if she was falling in love with Amanda a bit herself.
Oh.
Because there is like the scene where she's,
Right.
she's looking through the books and the posters of Amanda, and I think at that point she starts to become a bit enamored with her.
Mm-hmm. Well, and even
And
she
then-
looks through that doorway.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally, and has that look of, I don't know, lust or whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't even catch that, dude.
And then, Amanda starts calling her my little savior, which, like, the first time she calls her that, the
Mhm.
look on Maud's face is just, it's sad almost.
Yeah.
Because you can see that, she wants that so badly.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's why I don't know if she is in love with Amanda, or if she truly is she is just so blinded by what she thinks is her religion
Right.
and her mission to save Amanda's soul.
Right.
So I don't know. It's some interesting undertones that are never really fully addressed.
You're right. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely, I feel like there are moments like that in this movie too, where it's, what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting though. That's good,
Yeah.
dude. I didn't even catch that.
So now obviously we knew. Well, we weren't sure.
Mhm.
As a viewer watching this for the first time, you're not sure if she's having some spirit enter her body when she has
Right.
her godgasms. Upon second watch, obviously, you know that it's her,
Mm-hmm.
and it's part of her mental health. But yeah, so after she slaps Amanda and she gets fired, she's angry. She's angry at what she perceives as God
Mm-hmm.
for lying to her, basically.
Right. Right.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. I think she doesn't have a purpose, or that her purpose was all a lie. Yeah.
Right. But then, so she decides to go out and kind of go back to what we find out is her old ways.
Right. Yes.
Because she's having sex with the one guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, "Oh yeah, you got it on with my mate."
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, so she used to go out and just go home with random guys.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So after he kind of takes advantage of her,
Yeah.
that's when she suddenly has an epiphany in her drunken sickness
Mhm.
that all of this has been a test.
Right.
That she has this revelation. She asks for God's forgiveness, and that she was being tested with Amanda's resistance, and that she just has to try harder.
Right. Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. Now, in that moment,
Mm.
one thing I found out that was very cool is that when she sees the roach crawl under her dresser,
Uh-huh.
where all her religious stuff is,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's where she thinks it's a sign from God, because she sees it crawl under, and then there's like this pulse
Yes.
in the air, like
Mhm.
boom. And yeah, she thinks God is sending this little spirit guide to show her this is where you need to focus your attention.
Right.
And I think at that point she knows what she has to do, and she goes over to the dresser, and God talks to her, like you mentioned in the recap.
Right.
That's her voice, by the way.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, they recorded her saying this language,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. I'm not sure what it is,
Yeah.
but they recorded her, and then like tuned it down a few octaves.
Oh, that's kind of brilliant.
It is, because she's just talking to herself.
Right. Oh my gosh, dude, that's awesome. I love that. Oh, that's cool.
So before everything happens,
Mm-hmm.
her friend Joy comes to her apartment. Another uncomfortable scene.
So awkward, man.
But you know what was weird?
What?
Like, I don't know when this movie is supposed to take place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Joy offers her a cigarette,
Mm-hmm.
but then just lights up in the apartment.
I know. Yeah, and I don't know if maybe there's different rules, kind of, or maybe I don't know. Yeah, that was weird.
Well, there could be different rules, or it could be a case where this is something that they used to do a lot.
Right. Oh, that's
So
true.
Joy feels comfortable doing that
Mhm.
because she used to come to Maud's place and, they'd smoke together maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. Interesting.
So that was a thing. So, yeah, so I think the first time that I started to realize that she was definitely seeing things that everybody else wasn't. I mean, aside from like stuff when she was by herself.
Right.
But yeah, when she goes to visit Amanda, and she goes in after the nurse that has taken over has left, and what you talked about, Amanda starts talking to her in a demonic voice.
Right.
So when she starts stabbing Amanda, that was right. It was at that moment that I was like, holy crap. Like, Amanda was not talking in a demonic voice at all. That was just what Maud was hearing.
Totally. Yep.
And she just murdered this woman because of her delusions.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought the same thing. And even at one point, too, as she's being stabbed, Amanda gives her, like, a smile. And I was like, I doubt that. I think that's in Maud's head, clearly. She's not happy about getting killed. So, yeah, totally thought that, too. Dark, man. Dark.
Very dark. And then we already talked about the ending.
Mm-hmm.
So we started and we talked about the whole ending.
Yeah. Totally agree with you, though. I mean, this was I'm not sure the next time I'll watch it either. It's not a happy movie. It
No,
doesn't
not
end
at all.
happy. It really is watching someone decline in a very sad, sad way. And it's pretty bleak. It's not, it like you said, and I agree. I think acting-wise, I thought the music was pretty good, too. We didn't really talk music.
Yeah, the music was fine.
Mhm.
Who did it? I thought I wrote it down. Darn it, Scotty. Keep talking, buddy.
Okay. Well, I thought it was good. I just thought it had that... even throughout, I guess, really the whole movie, it has that ominous tone, which really does set up this whole movie as this kind of bleak movie. But I think the music just has sort of that ominous, creepy vibe to it, kind of from start to finish. Even in the quiet moments, I feel like there's still some beat or something in the background happening, to give off that uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually did write down notes about the music. So
Okay.
the composer is a guy named Janota Bzowski.
Right on.
Hasn't done anything much else.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I wrote a thing because I did not think the music was that memorable. Like you mentioned, it's more like background tone.
Right.
But then I went on to Apple Music, and there's the soundtrack. So I started listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another one of these music scores that they're fine for the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
It sets a nice tone.
Right.
It sets a mood. But I was actually going to say something that's like a little quibble of mine, like something that bothers me as somebody who loves music scores.
Mm-hmm.
The first two tracks on the soundtrack are called like Saint Maud main theme and then Maud's theme. And I'm like, where's the theme, dude?
Yeah.
Like, I listen to both of them, and usually a theme is something recognizable that you weave in and out of a movie. I was like, there's no theme here. There's nothing memorable about this piece. It's just background, like, background ominous tone, basically. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
It's good for what it is, but it's not like, it's not like a recognizable, beautiful music or anything.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Nope, fair enough. I will say the other thing, though, that I did like, I thought the cinematography in this was really good.
Yeah.
There was some shots, and wherever they filmed as well, or I can't remember, but it's very pretty. Like, it's a pretty place. And there's a few shots of, like, her walking up a hill or even walking next to that big sign of Coney Island. It was really shot, I think, quite beautifully. So I props to the cinematography, I think, in this
Especially
movie.
that shot of the Coney Island sign. I'm
Yes.
glad you mentioned that because I definitely... that was one thing, and that was actually my next note, the cinematographer. Ben Fordesman is his name.
Oh, okay.
Also, everybody that worked on this movie has not done much.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, Rose Glass, it's her first feature film.
Oh.
I believe that this was Ben Fordesman's first feature as a cinematographer. So yeah, there's a lot of promise in the people that worked on this movie.
That's awesome. That's really exciting to know that we're probably going to see more of them. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's yet another one of our movies with a female director.
Yeah, dude.
Who absolutely kills it.
Yes. I'm excited now. I'll have to go on her IMDb and see what she's working on next because she's got to have something in the pipeline.
Yeah. But yeah, so I agree with you though. I thought the cinematography was really nice.
Nice. Yeah. Beautiful movie, definitely.
So, yeah, I think that's about all I have. You got anything else?
Honestly, that's about it too. Like we were talking earlier before we started, I was like, I don't have a lot of notes on this one. I mean, there's beats in this movie, but I don't know. I feel like it's just hard to get notes for this one.
Well, it's also not a very long movie.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like an hour and 20-something minutes.
Yes.
And of course, there's like probably 8 minutes of credits. So,
Yep.
So yeah, let's. You ready for 3 questions?
Let's do it.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
Question number 1, my friend.
Yay.
Out of, well, let me just ask you, what was your favorite death or kill in this movie?
So I am going to count one even though we didn't see the aftermath, but and it's not again, none of these are like happy or fun or exciting or you know what I mean? Like this is a heartbreaking death, but her dying at the end with the, pouring gas or whatever it is on her and lighting herself on fire. I'm assuming that she died after that. But that that, like I said, stuck with me, and I know will continue to stick with me. So I'm putting that as the one that I, again, not favorite, but, it's the one that will definitely stick with me the most.
Unless we suddenly get Saint Maud Part 2.
Oh, my gosh. That'd be an interesting
The Attack
sequel.
of Maud.
Right?
The Revenge of Maud.
She gets powers, man. Oh, my gosh. What about you, though?
It wasn't all in her head. No, I'm the same one.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
Number 2, was this movie scary?
Honestly, to me, no. I think kind of we talked about it's more just a movie of someone declining mentally. So to me, this wasn't like a scary movie. Again, that last shot is horrifying, but to me anyway. But I wouldn't say it was scary.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Nice, yeah.
It would be, and it would even be hard for me to think that somebody might get scared with this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Depressed? Yes. Sad? Yes. Confused? Maybe.
Yeah.
But not too scary.
Nope.
So.
Totally.
Number 3, Andrew. Hey, buddy, did you have fun with horror?
I really enjoyed this movie. Like I said, it's not one I'm going to watch anytime soon. So did I have a good time watching it? No, I wasn't happy watching this. Not at all. But was it a good movie? I think so. What about you,
buddy?
Yeah.
I did not have fun, but it's a good movie.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. That's Saint Maud, man.
Forgive me my impatience, but I hope you will reveal your plan for me soon. I can't shake the feeling that you must have saved me for something greater than this.
Scotty, that was a very bleak movie to discuss, obviously. Now,
I can't promise it's going to get better.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, man, this is either going to be another dark one, or we're going to get some lightheartedness, or maybe we're going to get a slasher. I don't know. I don't know what you have for us, but I'm very excited to find out. What have you picked, my friend, for our next movie?
I've mentioned this to you before, buddy.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to take us back to a wonderful Halloween episode in which we had our significant others join us.
Oh.
And a movie was mentioned. Oh.
I might know
what
which
is it?
one. Fire
What
in
is
the
it?
Sky?
You got it!
Did I?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so 1993. So when Mary said that movie scared her,
Uh-huh.
I thought about other people that said that it scared them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, hi.
Hi.
Scream Factory
Oh,
just released it on Blu-ray, and back when they announced that they were releasing it on Blu-ray, I went ahead and pre-ordered it.
Nice.
It was like a couple months ago. Well, it finally arrived, I think last week.
Cool.
So as soon as it arrived, I said, that's going to be our next movie.
Nice.
So 1993, Fire in the Sky.
Awesome.
I've never seen it. Have you?
No, I've never
You've
seen
never
it.
seen it.
Nope.
Well, guess what? Everybody out there is in luck because it is streaming on Prime Video, Paramount Plus, and Epix.
Wow, look at
And
that.
I guess DirecTV has a streaming network, I guess. Whatever.
Nice.
Whatever.
Sure, we'll go with that.
So there you go. Fire in the Sky. That's our next
Awesome.
movie.
Cool, man. I remember one brief thing that or kind of what she said it was about a little bit, but that was it. So I don't know.
Oh, I know what it's about.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, the only thing
It's right there on the poster.
Oh, okay. I don't even know what the
It's about
post.
alien abductions.
Yes,
So-
exactly. That's what I remember is that it was an alien abduction movie.
So
So
we'll see if it holds up, though.
yeah, 1993 you said? Is that right?
Yeah, I'm so excited to watch this. You don't even know.
Dude, I'm pumped. This is awesome.
I've kind of wanted to see this for many years, and just it's one of these movies that I never got around to, and it's one of the reasons we started doing this podcast so we could get around to movies like this.
Definitely, man. That's why we do it.
Well,
Oh.
it's one of the reasons.
One of the reasons, yes. But that's exciting.
So we can talk every week with each other.
That's right.
Hello, Irving.
Hello, Winston. How are you?
We're gonna set some fires in the skies.
Oh no, that sounds dangerous.
It's going to be so good.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna pet my cat, and
Oh,
we're gonna
fun.
watch fires in the sky.
Well, I might bring some marshmallows and roast them with those fires in the sky.
That sounds just wonderful.
I think we'll get real full.
Yeah, and there'll be fireworks. That's what the movie's about, right? Fireworks?
Yeah, it's a probably is this about the 4th of July?
It is.
I thought so.
Buddy, I love you.
I love you too, dude. Oh my gosh. And again, happy birthday, man.
Hey, thank you, buddy.
Of course. I'm excited that we got to talk and record on your birthday. That's fun.
Me too. Me too. And, pretty soon enough, it'll be your birthday.
Aw, sometime.
Someday, maybe.
Maybe. We'll see.
Hey, here's a thought. You ready for this one?
Uh-oh, yeah.
You're going to have a baby by the time your birthday rolls around.
You are absolutely right, dude.
Little Scotty will be born.
Little Scotty's going to be running around, man.
I don't know if he'll be running.
Yeah,
on it,
right.
but-
He'll be like 2 months old on my birthday, but still.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening once again.
Yeah.
This is Fun with Horror. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Scotty.
And you're confused.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, don't get me wrong, palliative care is noble work. But I always knew you had something more planned for me. It takes nothing special to mop up after the decrepit and the dying. But to save a soul, that's quite something.